Hi, I'm Dean with Old English Outfitters, and today we're going to be covering our top 5 budget EDC folders we sell at Old English. First, we should specify this is not a top 5 EDC knives of all time video. We are merely covering the top 5 budget EDC folders that we carry at Old English. Here you can see our knives are arranged in price from low to high, and at the end of the video we will cover our number 1 pick for best quality and best value. Alright, first on our list we have the Kershaw Grinder. You can see here that this is a modified sheep's foot style blade. All that means is you get the same utility benefits as you would from a box cutter or a Wharncliffe style blade, while still having that sweeping edge that's great for slicing. The blade is made from 4 CR13 MOV steel with a bead blast, and the handle scales are made from glass-filled nylon. Now what this means is those are similar to what would be just molded plastic, but it's reinforced with fiberglass, so it's very durable. The blade length is 3 1/4 inches. The closed length is 4 1/2 inches. The open length, fully open, is 7 3/4 inches, and the weight is 4.5 ounces. Now all this means is that you get a relatively light, while still being decently sized folder that is good for pretty much any purpose you could find. And it is also very comfortable in your hand with those glass-filled nylon handles and the serrations on the rear of the spine, which add to grip. Now the mechanism, as you can see here, is flipper only. It is a spring-assisted knife, so you're going to touch the flipper on the back here, pull down towards the bottom of the knife, and the blade will spring open. Watch your fingers when you do that. Now also here we should note that this is a liner lock knife. You can see here inside of the handle scales we have this little liner, that thin piece of metal that gets under the blade and locks it open. To close, all you do is put your thumb on those serrations and push it to the left, then carefully close the blade. That one is $29.99 from us. Alright, the next knife we have on our list is the 511 DRT Folder. Now this is only one knife in a series of knives, so we're going to include all of those in this number. It comes in black handle scales, OD green like the one I just showed you, and gray with several different blade shapes, including the straight edge Wharncliffe like I described to you before, and a clip point similar to what would be a Bowie. The blade is made out of coated AUS8 steel. It's not that long, maybe 2 1/2 inches you can see there. And then that handle is, again, those fiberglass reinforced nylon scales. However, you can see here, the liners are nested, so they are within the handle scales, making it thinner overall. Now, this one is a little bit lighter than the first one we showed you there. So this is going to be a very nice EDC knife in that it does not really, I guess you don't really notice when it's in your pocket. You can't feel it all that much because it is so light. There is a lot of handle for the amount of blade that you get, so it is very nice for choking up and doing fine work, whether that be cutting food, letters, whatever you have, especially with that choil. Now, the mechanism you see here is thumb stud only, or thumb hole as it were. Set your thumb in this hole, rotate around the body of the knife, and it will slide open. There are no springs involved whatsoever, just some standard, brass washers to smooth the opening of the knife. This is also a liner lock, like I illustrated before. That piece of metal just gets under the knife, and you push to the left to close. This one is $32.99 from us. The third knife we have on our list is the Kershaw Knives OSO Sweet. You can see there that is a spear point style blade, very similar to a drop point, but with the tip being more centered towards the rear of the knife. The blade steel is 8 CR13 MOV with a stonewash finish. The handle is again glass-filled nylon with the color black as an alternative option to the tan. The blade length is 3.1 inches with a closed length of 4.1 inches. Overall opened length being 7 1/4 inch. The weight is 3.2 ounces. What this means is this is going to be a very light knife. You won't really notice it when you put it in your pocket, and it won't take too much room. So for those of you who don't like having a knife that is too big and bogs down your pocket, this is going to be the right choice for you. The opening mechanism is once again a spring-assisted flipper like we saw with our first Kershaw. Touch this fin on the back, and there it opens. And once again, it is a liner lock. Push to the left, and that will close the blade. And that is $39.99 from us. The fourth knife on our list is the Steel Will Knives Cutjack. This is new from Steel Will Knives this year and new to us as well, as we just started stocking them. They do a really good job making quality products that look nice too, while keeping the price down at a reasonable level. This blade shape is a drop point, probably the most standard blade shape we'll see today. The steel is D2, which is a very, very tough tool steel, used to make chisels very often. And the handle is once again a very ergonomic fiberglass reinforced nylon scale. This one has nested liners and a liner lock, which we'll talk about later. The blade length is between 3 1/4 and 3 1/2 inches. And this is going to be for the person who really likes carrying a knife. It's thin, so it's not going to bog you down very much, but it's a very strong steel and a very solid build. It is that liner lock with a flipper. However, this is not spring assisted. Just has brass washers once again with a little bit of lubricant, and it flips right open easy. And then, like I said before, liner lock still pushes to the left. That is going to be pretty standard across all of the models. The Cutjack is $42.99 from us. The final knife on our list is the Kershaw Emerson collaboration, the CQC6K. As you can see, that is a clip point style blade with a combination satin and stonewash finish. The blade is made from 8CR14 MOV steel with a half textured black G10 handle and a half stainless steel bead blasted frame lock. The blade length comes in at 3 1/4 inches with a closed length of 4 1/2 inches. The overall open length is 7 3/4 inches with a weight of 5.1 ounces. This is the heftiest knife that we have on here. This is going to be very thick and usable in heavy-duty purposes. Now, one thing you saw earlier is that little hook on the back of the blade. This is the Emerson Wave Opener. What this is made to do is hook on your pants as you pull the knife out and whip the blade open. What that generally means is it's going to come out just as fast as you would be able to pull out a fixed blade, which is great for one-handed opening or self-defense purposes. The opening mechanism is entirely manual with this thumb disc or the wave and has nothing but brass washers to assist in the opening. As I mentioned earlier, this is a frame lock. All this is a stronger liner lock. It's part of the entire frame, as you can see, and much wider in that locking piece. It's like a liner lock, but there is no outside scale. The lock is part of the frame, as I mentioned. The CQC6K collaboration with Emerson and Kershaw is $49.99 from us. After looking at all of these knives, all 5 of them exhibit great qualities and value for the price that you pay. However, our top pick has to be the Steel Wheel Knives Cutjack. Its lightweight and overall ergonomics make it a great carry knife while still being large enough and tough enough to do more hard-use tasks. For only $42.99, that has to be the best bang for your buck. Next week, we will be discussing our top 5 higher budget EDC folders. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'm Dean with Old English Outfitters, and we'll see you next week.